Hi there. So the purpose of me starting this blog, I've wanted to do it for some time, is to teach the principles of the restored gospel plainly, as plainly as I can, in the best language that I know how, and also that I can teach them from the scriptures and by the power of the Holy Ghost, by the Holy Ghost. And the audience that I'm hoping to reach out to is the Latter-day Saints. That's my people. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm very grateful that I am a member of the church. And I want to try to help where I can those in the church by teaching the saving truths of the restored gospel and sharing my testimony of Joseph Smith as a prophet of God, the restoration that will unlock all the saving truths, since Joseph Smith is he's the prophet's prophet of our dispensation, chosen by God to restore his gospel, the gospel that we now call the gospel of Jesus Christ. So, particularly I want to focus on doctrines that some in the church may consider to be hard doctrines, to be difficult maybe to understand or believe, that some may struggle with, or some may call them controversial principles or doctrines. None of these doctrines or principles are hard or difficult to the Lord or controversial. There really can't be any such thing as a controversial doctrine of the gospel. To the Lord, He's the one that ordained all truth. He's the source of light and truth, and He loves all truth, especially the saving truths of His gospel. And so that's my purpose, to teach those doctrines clearly, plainly, from the scriptures and by the Spirit. And my hope is that as I teach these doctrines, it can help Latter-day Saints to receive by the Spirit, to strengthen their own faith, which will lead to repenting more fully of their sins, because all of us are stained with sin, to receive the ordinances of the gospel, obviously including, they've already been baptized, but receive all the saving ordinances, including temple ordinances, and to increase the level and the frequency and companionship of the Holy Ghost in their lives. I was reading in 2 Nephi this morning, and this is kind of my hope that I can offer. Nephi 33, 2 Nephi 33, verse 1. And now I, Nephi, cannot write all the things which were taught among my people, neither am I mighty in writing, like unto speaking. For when a man speaketh by the power of the Holy Ghost, the power of the Holy Ghost carrieth it unto the hearts of the children of men. So as I teach the principles of the restored gospel of Jesus Christ, my hope is that I can teach them accurately, and I can teach them by the power of the Holy Ghost. Because when it says the power of the Holy Ghost carrieth it, it means the word of truth. The Holy Ghost can carry these words of truth unto your hearts. It cannot carry them into your hearts unless you decide to allow them in. All of us have the same principle that applies. As we hear truth, it can kindle faith. It cannot create faith. We have to utilize our agency to allow those truths to penetrate our heart, into our hearts. And then that will allow us to develop faith as we live those truths, as we ponder them, as we study them, and as we also teach them. So that's my hope in having this blog. I'm very excited to share my testimony and the principles which I've been blessed to understand by the Spirit from the Scriptures, the Latter-day Prophets. And I want to make sure everyone understands that the things that I express, the things that I teach, are my responsibility. And I'm not speaking on behalf of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm not speaking on behalf of any other organization. I'm taking sole responsibility for the words which I teach and what I share on this blog. And they're not necessarily the position or the views of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.